order to say means that this gilui, this is the isgalus of the makir. That means that the makir relates to the inyan oir. The expresses that. That means that what he's expressing and the expression have a relationship between each other. Now the Rebbe says the atzmus taka amor. Atzmus taka has taka the quality of amor. But yachadim zeh, atzmus is also ain't safe other inyanim. He's a beirez, ain't safe other milas that atzmus entails. But he also has the mile of mar. And the putkuda that's negat l'ininu is what's the inyan, what's the inyan oir is to express that aspect of atzmus that atzmus is amor. That's what's negat to know for now. Means the inyanim of etzem, which are beyond the fact that he's amor, other inyanim in atzmus, the fact that the Eibishter is that ein le'ili v'siba shekad malei, that's not an inyan which naturally expresses. Is the inyan of gilui, the inyan of that the makir is not limited to be dafke and helim dekaif, and he can be automatically also be esgalus. He has no limit in the way he exists. So that aspect of atzmus, that atzmus is a mar, that he doesn't have the limit to be dafke and of etzem, he's able to be esgalus. That the is an extension of that, and the expresses that. The inyan of etzem, the inyan of ein le'ili v'siba shekad malei, the is not an extension of there. Mitzad that inyan, there's no mile of gilui. So the is not an extension of that inyan. So what's negelin in is what's lepoil. The Rebbe says that since an atzmus is coming mechal b'tei mar and anything else, so everything the possesses everything. That's not inyan. But the negelin yanenu, what's in yoni the is in yoni gili amar, that there's no other mitzvahs outside of the isgalus amar. And what aspect of a lakus is mainly expressed? Where does the stem from? Where does he? He's nimshach from the aspect of mar, which is natzmas. Yeah, that's one nekuda. That's clear by the elam. That's the ain't. Mash'ekin shame doesn't express anything. So there's of course a connection between the name and the person in the mashal, but the name doesn't express anything. Fakert, you can't tell from the name anything about the nature of the person. That means that within the name doesn't possess anything in the person's character, of his nature. Lepoil, the name is related to him, and the slapshas and avish beguf is through the name. Epis is a content. So the Nekuda of Chassidus says that dafke the name is connected. Expresses that, and the only is so the is that's a mile of that through the etzem is galva through there. But the chisarn kaviyachol of is that the etzem the way he is ba'atzmusay, the inyan of atzmus the way he is not the way he's shaychus to gilui, not as a moir, not as a source of gilui. The atzmis in yoni of the etzem that's not expressed through the doesn't stem from there. Misal atzem comes from the inyan of moir. Mash'ekin shame is connected, is rooted in the etzem of the nefesh. The way the nefesh is movdal of gilui, the way the nefesh is batzmusay, and the way the nefesh is batzmusay is beyond expression, beyond the context of gilui, beyond that something should express him. And the etzem taka, which is beyond expression, that's what the name is rooted in, and that's what the name is connected to. And that's nisbat in the fact that the etzem is nifna l'kayr b'shmei. That in you don't have. It is expression of the mar. And even the shayr shayr in the makir is all the way the makir is inyan of mar. That means that he's already the idea of being nisgal is an inyan the guy. It's not the etzem the way he is batzmusay. It's the way the etzem is a makir for gilui. Mashek in shame relates to the etzem the way it is in its atzmis. So that's the nekuda was is neget from frier. We can get weiter bis so. Good, we'll go through later. If you have any questions, no one should feel embarrassed. I don't know what's the good. Let's see there. Lamer zayn v'hina derech ha'efresh. They're saying the camera is more b'hadgasha than the audience. Okay, good. V'hina derech ha'efresh. I'm saying it's not like I have a whole prepared speech that I'm speaking to the camera. We're having a good. This is an important thing. Oh, and here the Rebbe adds another point. It's not a new. The Eid itself is not a chiddush legabi the mar. Eid is the expression of the mar. So it's not something new. Whatever existed earlier is in a state of his galus. It's not that Eid is gilui. His mitzvah is not gilui. And punkt. What is he expressing the mar? What is Eid? The revelation of the makir. So that means the makir contains this inyan, and he's just that's the galus of that inyan. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. Whatever the mar is, does state is galus. And the makir, the tnu of doesn't stem from the makir. The makir is a source for something. That's one of the nekudas of gilui. Is not a hashpa min makir. It's not something which is nimshach from the makir. So seichel, the Rebbe is going to bring out also, midas also not a real chiddush about seichel. I just want to bring at this point, you have seichel itself. Seichel is in Yani is understanding in Indian. And the nature of seichel is that he's also mechayev amidah. If you understand that something's good, the understanding that it's good is, how do you say it, that is mechayev, abissal lashon kedesh gedenkt manach. So it's mechayev amidah, they should have a regesh according to this area of seichel. That's so there's two in them. There's the seichel itself. There's the fact that the seichel gives birth to another Indian. The seichel is a makir. It's an Indian which is also a resource, and from that, as a result of seichel, there's other effects that come out of seichel. It is not that you have a makir and there's some. The makir itself is an atzmizdika thing. It's an etzem, which is beyond expression. And as a result of the etzem, there's also a hashpa, which is called gilui. There's no hashpa. It's not the makir from the makir kum tareis hashpa. It is this galus of the makir. It's the makir kameshu being expressed, being open. It's not hashpa that comes from the makir. That's the ganze nice and chassidus really. But I'm saying, but I don't want to go into the whole thing. But the point is, the pashtus misvara we would say that is like every other hashpa. They have a bit of with them. I'll just say one word, just to have this point. I'm saying is the pashtus of the farm would be that anytime you have the etzem itself is beyond gilui, beyond expression. If something's being expressed, that has to have some type of you say you're able to sense it. It's something that has already some type of tfisa, some type of tzir, some type of it's nirgash. You're able to experience it. You're able to feel it. The etzem is the Indian, the way it is beyond any expression. The way the Indian is still b'pshutusay. The way the Indian is still undefined at all. The way it's batzmiyusay. That's beyond gilui. What's the expression of the Indian? It's being nisgale. So the chura davana would be when the Indian is being nisgale, it's already not the Indian the way it is batzmiyusay. You say light. You have light the way it is in the etzem, in the makir, in a way of in a makir. So it's you say in the most pashta. I said it last time. Someone learns the makir, the keich. But just say in a pashta ifin. Imitzah learned, let's say some keich haseichel. So there's the keich haseichel. You have the ability to understand, and then you're learning a sugi l'poil. We learned that. The poil, the potential to understand, doesn't have the same tziyurim as learning l'poil. When you're using out your keich haseichel l'poil, it has to be a specific sugya. In the keich haseichel, the kayach to learn, the kayach to understand, it's not limited to this sugya and that sugya. Anytime something is playing itself out, actualizing itself, it's going to have a certain seer that the makar doesn't have. That's every makar. The makar is the resource for the Indian. It's not the way it's actualized the poil. Etzem is not even beyond. Etzem is that it's the Indian not in a limited way, not in a defined way. It's this mahus in its most complete, perfect fashion. It means without any, not in an undefined way. That's beyond gilui. By definition, that's beyond gilui. Gilui means that if you're able to experience, we have light, for example, the light of the sun. The light, the way the sun contains light, it says is a behiras atzmis. That means behiras atzmis, it's an undefined type of light, or it's the ultimate perfected form of light, which has no chisreinis at all. Ramashkin tzir and azas start behiras. It's not a limited thing. The light that we express, we could define what our experience is. That first the room was dark, and now I'm able to see what's going on. You're able to define what's the mile of light. That's only mitzad gili. Gili means that the Indian is nirgash, you're able to experience it. This gala, it's being expressed, so it must have some type of sazevot to mergazah. To an Indian is this gala, it's like every other ashpa. The makar has this Indian, has this quality. The way it is in the atzmi is the kaifin. And then when it's in this gala, it gets more defined. So the Indian, the way it is more defined, is already another version of the Indian. If I state the meaning, you see a regular case of mashpia Rav Talmud. So you have this svar the way the Rav understands it, and then you have the svar the way the Talmud understands it. The svar the way the Talmud understands it is not the same svara that the Rav has. You don't say that the Seichel Talmud is a sgalus of the Seichel Rav, because it's the idea in a different version. It's mitzumtzum. So this is nishas. Is not a mitzi, is not another Indian that comes from the mar. It's the mar being nisgal. Even though l'chor it's an Indian of gile, and gile l'chor is mechayiv, that it's already that energy, the way it's within the context of gile. This is not like that. The gile is bottled to the mar. It's the makir. A mar is an etzem which is not limited to be in a state of etzem, and this etzem can be begile. This makir doesn't have to be in a way of beyond fis, and this makir itself is begile. So the gile is not another mitzias; it's the etzem itself. It's not a psashpa that comes from the makir. The whole word of Eir is that the makir kameshu is not limited to be in a way of etzem. It can also be expressed. So there's no other mitzias here. The etzem kameshu, he's being expressed. There's nothing new. There's no eschachus. It's the etzem alim, and it's not the etzem the way he's a makir for something. It's this Indian the way he is, and that Indian is open. That Indian is bizgalus. Oh, that's Koyach is a whole different extreme. It speaks always there's two in one. There's the makir, there's the hashpah that comes from the makir, so to speak, and there's where the hashpah affects, the mekabel which receives the hashpah. In since there's not a gather of hashpah min makir, there's nothing coming from a makir. So by regular hashpah, so you can say the mashal seichos mechayiv midas. So from seichos point of view, the inyan over here is not the fact that there's a midas ava. It's one of the milas of seichol that it's not only a kal tazach, it's also mechayiv amida. But in respect to the leiv that's margish, the leiv that gets affected by the mayach, for it does not negate the fact that the seichol is mechayiv amida. For him, what's important for the heart is that he's misragish beregish chiyuvi. If you have a hashpah min hamakar, so already there's the way that the makar looks at the hashpah, and there's the way the mekabel takes the hashpah. But so there's a makar. And then there's the expression, the energy which is being nimshach min hamakar, and then there's the makabel which is being affected by this chayis, by this hashpah. So mitzad the makar, let's say the whole inyan is the makar's gili, but mitzad the makabel, maybe we're standing over here in the world. For us, what's an ageh that we have light, that the shemesh is nizgala? For us, it's the fact that we're able to see what's going on in the room. So, but from the yachas to the makabel, it's different from the Rebbe says not like that. By you can never detach the hashpah from the makar. Even when the makabel is margish there, it's always nirgash begili that it's the shemesh's light that's coming here. Why can't you never detach it? Because it's never the shemesh in a mode of giving. It's him the way he is, and he's venting himself. He's being his gala. So there's no tnu of yachas to the makabel. There's never a tnu of hashpah, of a makar. Say in there's not the way the makar is in a mode of being a source for something. It's the makar the way he is batzmos, and that's being this gala. So it's not shy that from there should be a tnu of a tfisas makar to something which is not the makar. Because Chatchile comes from a tnu of the makar, which Kol Inyani is the Izgalus HaMakar. We'll see the opposite, the Nigud Legabe Kayach. K'mei she'er atzmi nis chachas, kenu pulas v'davar amur, sh'zoma shomer, esad davar amur, u'gam k'midar agili kenal. She'eni v'bchinas nis chachas. She'er davar amur, hei gam m'kedem, v'rak she'm'kedem, lo hei nira, v'dei hei hu nira. And the eid is not pale as chachas, this is another point. The eid is not pale anything new. That's the Rebbe says, even the Pashas, so we'll see the biyachas to the nimshal. The eid is not pale anything new. Mehr beschlafst du mit der Herst angehen? Why are you falling asleep? Tired? Okay. Sunday night. Good. Balabadi from the Shchona. Sunday night takes some time to... Good. K'meikin agam k'meikin pol tzmicha shemeir. Kash meged fu shemesh meged ger shilachim. V'yatzmicha shemeir shemesh ve'er. She'in zis chadshad tzmicha v'gidol at mikatan zgat. Yeah, Kapanim air is never pale in of chid. It's never pale anything new. Because the air is not... This is already another word. Kol poil is poil apula me'ein inyani. Any mocker, saying even lamata on the mashal. Let's say the midas had bittel of earth to the word that you have in the nimshal, but even lamata on the mashal, every pu'ula is always going to be poil inyan me'ein the poil. So since is not a chiddush min mocker, it's the izgalus of the mocker. Al derech zeh. Even when it's pale pulis, lamati have a musik that the earth is pale pulis, that the chveisim meged ger shirachim, that the tzmachim grow from there. But since the earth can only be pale pula, which is bedugmas, it's type of mitzvahs. Since it's an expression of something, it's just it's the actualization of the makir's gid. The makir has the yechelis lahoyer, and that's just expressed begoli through the earth. So it can make such an effect also in tzmicha. Even when it has an effect. Here the Rebbe is not saying about the Vegas. Since Erdin Yoni is that whatever is possessed in the market. Isn't this Gala? Al derech, as derech, the way the Erd is, he's pale when he get the things that he affects on. That whatever the perach dart, the plant possesses, bihiyuli, the Erd just brings it out. Because every pile is pile of pu'ula me'ein in Yoni. The Rebbe says a couple of times in this type of Indian. This is not a word that they were saying. The word that I was saying before, that even when it's Meir, the Mekabel, it's Nirgash, that it's the Makar. It's always Nirgash, that it's the Eir HaShemesh being Meir. That's one word. Because it means that the Makar, there's no Tnua of Ashpa being a Makar for an Inyan. So maybe even when the Eir is Nimshach, but the Mekabel, it's always Nirgash, that it's the Makar's Galus. Because it's never the Makar the way he's extending himself to be a Makar for something. Here's what I'm saying another word. Since the Eir, Kol Inyani is this Galus of the Makar, so there's he's pale on certain pu'ulis, he's pale me'ein pu'ulas. Since he's his galus of what's possessed earlier, al derech zeh pu'ul and the tzmachim is that what they possess should be in his galus. So here this is very important for the first. So in order to create something new, there has to be a tnuah of that your Indian is not this galus hamakar, the makar is giving space for another Indian. Calls man, since Eid is neveah from the makar is, there's no makar for something else. It's the way he's in his Indian, and his Indian, the way he's in his biz galus, there's no space for another. The whole tnuah is the tnuah sa'etzim. And mitzad him, there's an Indian. So it's always behemshech to him. A chiddush means you want to create something new. Something which is not an extension. If it's an extension of something else, and it's derived from the makar, then it's not a chiddush. Chiddush means you want to you say a new invention. A new invention, you have to detach yourself from the Indian of the makar, and to be now and to go create something new. We'll see if I stay a bit better, you'll understand what the Indian is. Listen what they're saying here. It does have a bit of updation because sometimes we macht a bit of dust. The music of Keich U'Poel is a whole different type of hashpa that we know regularly. It's a bit of station. Elam learned Gadol Yeh Amal. Well, you learned it, yeah? But it's a bit of Israel in the meaning. Say the Mashal Seichel. Say a simple dogma just to bring out this point. A Rab is Mevar Seichel HaTalmud. Yeah, so Tona the Talmud did not understand it. The Rab is coming to explain the Indian. So the Svara, the way the Rab understands it, is on a higher level. The Talmud can't. Talmud doesn't have the kalim to understand it the way the Rab understands it. The Rab is being with Samson the Seichel, and it should be in a level that the Talmud should be able to understand. What is the Rab busy? Is the Rab his askus with the Seichel Talmud? He's coming to inject the Seichel in the Meich Talmud, or the Rab is working with his Svara. He's lowering his Svara in a way that the Talmud should be able to grasp it. The Rab is not working with the Seichel Talmud. There's no Indian. You can't inject Seichel in the Meich Talmud. The Rab's Indian calls man the Svara as an Eidless Svara. It's not at the level of the Talmud can't grasp it. The minute the Rab explains it in a way that's on the level of the Talmud, then automatically the Talmud understands it. If something's blocked, you can't see it. The minute they open up the object, automatically your eyes are able to see it. So I'm not hacking the thing around in the person's eyes. So the shaila is like this: a person's throwing a stone. So you have the shaila is, how does it work? So you can't say in a svara that a person, you have a keich hatnu in your yad or keich hazrika, whatever it is. The way the stone cannot be affected by keich hazrika, because nafshi is like a keich, it's a keich ruchni. When a person throws a stone, he's taking his energy and he's making it more physical, tangible energy. And when the stone feels this tangible energy, the stone flies. Then it wouldn't be considered as chashus. If the pshat of Keich U'Poel is like the regular hashpam and amakar is that how am I affecting the nifal? I'm not changing the nifal. There's no way of directly changing a nifal. I have certain energy and I'm being mavish my energy in a way that the mekabel should feel it. So then I'm not doing any chiddush. I mean, the nature is that if there's strong energy in a certain area, the stone's going to fly as a result of that. That's not called that I invented something. The teva advarim is that if there's a strong pressure, things are going to fly. So then it's not a gather of chiddush. If I state the meaning. And the chiddush of Keich U'Poel is not the pshat. When a person throws a stone, the pshat is not that he lowers his keich down in a way that it should be such, as I said before, as a tangible energy, which because of that the stone flies. The person throws the stone. He makes a chiddush. He has a keich in his hand that to make that a stone should fly. That he has a keich to invent a new thing. Not that as a result of the energy that he has, a stone flies. Not that as a result of his keich, automatically the mekabel is kach v'kach. He has a keich to invent something new. To invent this phenomenon of a stone flying. If I state the meaning. That's not like the regular musik of Ashpa that we're aware of. The Seichel Mashal, Seichel is not such a good, is not the, Seichel is also doing like that. The Chassid says Seichel is a makar for Midas. Seichel invents Midas. Seichel doesn't have any focus to invent a Midah. If you understand something is good, the result is going to be that you're going to have avid towards it. It's not that Seichel is inventing it. If you understand well that it's good, the automatic result is going to be that you're going to like it. So it's not the pshat that you understand that it's good and then you try to like it. It's an automatic result. That's not called a chiddush. So the automatic result, the fact that there's a regesh ava, that's a direct outcome, that's not called a chiddush. That's one of the things of understanding something's good, is that you're going to have a feeling of ava towards it. Avada, in order for the heart to have a regesh ava, the heart's going to have to sense that it's good. So you're going to have to understand it well. You're going to have to be mitzamtzi or meseichel, that your life should understand it. But there's no yachas to create a midah. Because you're never creating something. It's the nature of this thing is that it brings this result. So the shaila is, if keich opayel was the way as ich weiß nicht, but I'm all hoping as that tfisa is that there's a stone. It's not that I have a keich to affect that a stone should fly. Can't do such a thing. I have a keich atnu in my hand. I'm able to make such strong pressure to the extent that when the stone feels it, he flies. Then it's not a chiddush. Then what's happening is a result of my energy. It's not a chiddush. That's like Eir. Eir is that his inyan is being Nizgala. Whatever his inyan entails. If the Lakus is Nizgala, and the Lakus is such a powerful thing, things are Nizbatal, that's not a chiddush. If Blikvul is Nirgash, things are going to be Nizbatal. That's a Tetzah of his inyan. Then it's all an expression of him. That's not a gather of chiddush. Chiddush means that a makar has the ability to invent a new thing. Not a new thing which comes as a result of his energy. He has a koyach to affect something new, to make a chiddush. You heard the meaning? You understand? So look what the Rebbe says here. This is what the Rebbe is saying here. Because in order to create something new, you have to focus on making a new invention. If the inyan is, if what calls man you're involved in the makar, you're involved in developing the makar, so you're involved in the makar, in your inyan. If whatever it is, say Seichel is busy with understanding very well the Svarim, automatically he's going to have a Regesh Ava. That's not a Chiddush. A Chiddush means I'm creating something new which is not an extension of me. So for that, you have to focus on affecting something new. If you're busy with your inyan, saying if the Nevesh was busy expressing itself, then there's no space for a stone to fly. Then you're busy with your own kayach. Whatever is be'erech, your kayach, whatever comes as a result of you, that comes as a result of you, something else. In order to affect a new invention, you have to focus on not expressing yourself, to invent something, to invent something new. That's called hefsek. So you have to leave your own the makar's inyan. To mevina ma'inyan. Let me say what the Rebbe sagt. He says like this. Where do you see the neschachos? What's the raya? That when you're throwing a stone, the pshat is that you're inventing something new, not that as a result of your energy, not that you have energy that as a result of this heavy energy stones fly. Then it's not a chiddush. That's the automatic outcome of this act. What's the raya? Because the keach is a davar ruchni. You can't say that as a result of the keach hayat stones fly. Why? Because the effect, the real raya, the first is because there's an effect in the gashmi take. And so this does not stand that you say if you put a strong fan and stones fly, that's not what a person does when he throws a stone. And so this says when a person throws a stone, he affects take that the stone is flying take. He makes the stone, he affects the stone that been claimed the fact that the stone naturally has teva kaivet, the stone should be a kal. But it's not again. But he makes an effect in the stone. At this moment, I just want to bring at this point. Yeah, I just want to bring at this point for a second. Just what the Rebbe is saying here. Since you're making a pool under the Gashmi, the Rebbe is saying a keach hanefesh can never relate to a Gashmi. It's always a keich hanefesh. Keich hanefesh cannot relate to a Gashmi. Keich hatnush to be is a keich nafshi, a keich ruchni. It can never affect. It can never affect the stone. So you can't say that as a result of the fact that the keich hanefesh is there. But seichel means you could say because you understand that as a result, not seichel invents. As a result of understanding that it's good, you're drawn towards it. But as a result of a keich nafshi, a stone should be affected. A stone should be affected by a keich nafshi. That's kind of design. Elamai vigatus because the person has a keich to affect the stone. It's not the pshat is that as a result of being margish, it's not that the koyach, as a result of the koyach, stones fly. The teitzah it's not an automatic result. Mitzad the nature of the koyach, stones shouldn't fly. It's a koyach to invent something new, to do something new, to affect that a stone should fly. Naturally, a stone doesn't fly. It's a dover which is beteva kavit. A person is able to affect that a stone should be in a mode of flying. You could affect the stone should be in a mode of flying. B'shas, the stone it's not just that the strong pressure pushing the stone. The stone is in a mode of flying. B'shas, you're flying. So how is that shayach that a person should affect the stone? It's a keich nafshi. The teretz is you have a keich to affect something. That's the keich hatruah. It's a keich hazik is a keich to affect the stone. The Bill would say, I don't know if it says in the first chassidus, you say when a person throws, it says if the havana would be that if it was like seichel l'midah, so like a rab being masber seichel talmid. Calls man that shpa is an eid life and the Talmud is not going to understand it. when you lower the Ashpa down, automatically the Talmud, if you explain the Seichel in a way that's the Darga the Talmud, automatically he's going to understand. So the Pshat is, the Rav's affecting the Talmud should understand, or you're just lowering down the Svara. He's lowering down the Indian. He's not dealing with the Me'ach HaTalmud. He's lowering down the Indian. If the Indian is in a state that the Talmud, the Me'ach HaTalmud is going to understand. So he says, if the Pshat by a stone was, the person has a Keich HaTnu B'yad, and the way the stone is the Davar Gashmi, how are you going to affect the stone based on a Keich HaTnu B'yad? So you throw the stone, you're putting such pressure, and as a result of the physical pressure that you just created, the stone is flying. He says, then the focus should have been to create pressure. I don't know exactly, or to make. He says, when a person throwing a stone, the Adgasha is that the stone should fly, or that the ball should fly, not to create strong energy. Huh? When someone's kicking the footy, I don't know what you're doing over there. So they're focusing on the creating strong energy with their foot, or the skill is to kick the ball or something. I don't know. The emphasis. I said this in the name of Reveal just because I don't know the. Huh? What do you mean? What's the difference? He says, if the vart was that you're creating strong energy, your focus should be to create big power. He says the Adgasha is to throw the stone. You're throwing the stone, you're not creating, you're not dealing with your kayach. You're affecting a nifar. You're affecting a chayfetz. You have a kayach to affect the stone. You're not creating strong energy, which as a result of that, the stone flies. When the fan is blowing, and the papers are flying away, the fan is pushing away stuff. Is the fan pushing away things? It's developing strong energy. If the vart was, one thing is that a person is being misamen in his yad to create the strong vibes from his hand. It says by throwing, when you're throwing evan, your hadgasha is lizrik es evan. You can't work on your energy to create. It's not such a thing. Forget about it. You can't just create energy and automatically the stone's going to fly. You have to throw the stone. You have to kick the ball. You can't create energy around it, and with that it's going to go. It's a koach to throw the thing. Anyways. It's both. It's a chiddush. Not a chiddush means. I'm saying is not a chiddush means if there's a fan here and this cup flies away, the fan didn't do any chiddush. The nature of the they just created the world in a way. The strong ear has that the same way the fact that it exists is not a chiddush. That's part of what it is.
If you hit a ball with the bat, it's also chiddush or.
So the pratim exactly how it works I don't know. You're arguing with the. I'm saying I don't know how it works. There's such a musik of Shikha 7 that the point is you're throwing the stone. You're not just creating strong energy, which as a result of that, the stone is flying. You're saying not. You're saying that you're creating strong energy, and as a result of that,
How do you explain that when you throw something, it only flies as far as the force that you use?
that's something else, because the fact that it's flying is because you affected something new. I'm saying lapel. I don't know exactly how it works. Lapel is there's further flying, there's further throwing. That's how strong you made the Evan Kal. There's how strong or how much you made the Evan Kal. But it's not based, I guess it's not only based on the amount of physical pressure that you put. I'm saying someone that's, anybody that, not that we're a big mumcham, but someone, you have people that are stronger, muscle-wise, and they're not the best baseball players are. It has to do with how much physical pressure he's investing in the bat. That's what it's all about. It's all about, everything good, but now when he's throwing the ball.
Oh, he's throwing a ball. You think about how much propulsion you're using and where you're throwing.
That's what it is. You have to ask the goalies. What's it called? We hasted there was five the ball. No? Pitcher. What's so funny? You think I'm making a show for the? It happens when you sit on my mind, but it happens automatically. It's not good. Okay, as ich steht.
It says a chiddush legabi the other, or says a
Chiddush legabi the koach. Legabi the koach. That's a chiddush. Legabi the koach hanefesh. Lag ich das, no?
Who says a chiddush legabi the other? Chiddush legabi the koach, I mean, you have a koach nefesh is a ruchni, and the fact that something physical is happening is a chiddush, so it happens through the hand. It's a chiddush.
No, not that. It's not a chiddush. Not that developing physical energy is a chiddush. The fact the pool is happening is a chiddush. Not that you're saying no, that's for sure not. When if a person has a gashim with the kiyat and he creates physical, if you make it strong with your hand and you make pressure around you, that's not a chiddush. That's a normal thing. No. Lamer zeh ma da steht. Kumay kayach apol b'maitzah shabbat mishakeach ruchni. and you're affecting a gashmi. And the fact that the Rebbe says that when your person throws a stone, and that's then the chiddush means that means the hair. It's not. Then it wouldn't be a chiddush. Then it's not a chiddush to the keach either. The keach now, it was originally a keach ruchni, and it developed into a physical energy. Then it wouldn't be a chiddush. This nish doesn't. No, then it would. That's not a chiddush. The never could be mitzvah. A person could make ruach around. That's not a chiddush. You have a physical hand. It's not the nefesh ruchnis creating the energy. You have a physical hand, and you're able to make. If a person bangs on a table, it's not doing any chiddush. That the strong pressure. It's the gashmistic thing. The yad has keach, and he can make how strong the bones are. No, for sure not. For sure not. The keach has an effect in gashmis.
Nothing here is something else.
No, the fact that it's something which has no. A stone is affected. A stone has no yachas to the nefesh. The guf has a yachas to the nefesh. The guf could create physical energy. The stone is a shtikos has not a keli to nefesh. It's not a keli to anything of the person. And the fact that the stone is affected, it becomes kal. Mitzad the pool of the person, that's a chiddush. It doesn't come behemshach to the keach. It's not that because the keach is in a state that it's behemshach lezeh, stone is affected. It's always a keach has an ability to affect the stone, and that's only possible when there's a hefzik from the market. Kolzman, the Indian is this galus hamakers. There's never an other. There's always what's his Indian being developed. A chiddush is you're giving space for a new invention, which is not the market. For that, there has to be a tnu of hefzik from the market, giving space for something else, being a mugger or something else, not expressing yourself. That's the inyani of keach is one of the keach hazrika is the inyani keach hazrika is not an expression of the nefesh, a keach to affect new things. That it's not a keach it's not a keach to express itself. It's not about expressing what the nefesh entails, what the nefesh contains. It's about affecting new things. That's called a hefsek. Your Indian is not expressing the nefesh. It's affecting other stuff, affecting things outside of it, affecting new things. But the Rebbe is a dogma for such an Indian from another type of food. The kmeikin who kam kecha uman sheis a kli shemechadish v'zechadish davar. Oh, there's about the uman. Uman makes there's pratim difference between this and kecha pel, but like uman, the uman also makes a new thing. Machtanai zach. The person makes a beautiful becher with tzir with all these with beautiful decoration. It's a new thing. This decoration did not exist earlier. This silver being mitzoyer in such a beautiful way didn't exist earlier. It's nicht gewesen. It attaches up. Schtchila haye geilem, v'akeh chidish batzura. You didn't learn the Maimer. You didn't learn the Maimer. Huh? I'm saying you also didn't learn any page. Another couple of Maimarim. The fees we know now. They didn't learn another 4 or 5 Maimarim. Yeah. Apish achem nesi b'seiches atzura. In kein ev shalemer lechodesh unin gilei helim. Oh, this is your shal. The chaymer is neisi b'seiches atzura. Huh? What does that mean? Neisi b'seiches atzura? That shalochodesh u gilei helim. Aber beim Sinn is mashach. Zeh mashachem neisi atzura. Like alul is bilvat. Mashachem alul lekabel atzura. Aber ein tzach atzura nimtzaz b'chem. This decoration that he made doesn't exist in the chaymer. It's not like batzmicha that you're say being mefateach what's included in the zera before. This tzir, you're not being meitzim in a hell in this decoration that's there. The chtichas gel, since the chtichas gel, you say when they get the water, pash the dugma. A person shows this always uses the dugma. A person shows his face to water. The image that you show towards the water is seen. So you're going to say that you're being megala the image that's there. Water has no distinct color, has no distinct. Any face you're going to show is going to be seen in the water. This chtichas gel mekesef has no form. It would be it's not it's a stama piece of silver. So any form is going to be is mukhshat. It's able to handle any form. It's able to be a keli to any form. Not that this form existed there. You say a Rab is being mashba seichel ta Talmud. You say the Talmud had a seichel before, but his mayach is a keli to be keli to seichel. Well, we say that the chaymer is all lekabel satzur, because it doesn't have any distinct form. So it's a keli to mekabel this type of form. But the form it's not. You're just developing the sort of that's there before. You're inventing a new tzir. Even in the tzayir's nefesh, so he envisioned the tzir of a beautiful silver. But in other words, what's the skill of tzir? Not that we're but I'm saying it's emes tzayir. You have someone that's able to copy well a different piece of silver. So that's more a gashin zikachush maybe of being delicately with your hands. But I'm saying someone that's a tzayir, so he envisions the tzir benafshe, of what type of, he's able to mitzayir what type of tzir he wants, to invent a new design, a new tzir, and then that's a tzir nefesh. Then he's able to affect it on a davar gashmi. He's able to affect this tzir on a davar gashmi. That's a certain way of hefsek. If someone's just expressing himself, a niggun or something else, where the nefesh is expressing itself, that's not an inyan that he's being mechad or something. That's the regesh that's there, he's conveying it. Let's say a person has a certain image of a yofi that he's mitzayir, which is really adam to be mitzayir such a thing. A behemoth can't be mitzayir. So that's an adam's inyan. That's the nefesh's tzir that he's mitzayir the chveis of decoration of the kesef. But the kesef is not a keli for the person to convey himself through the chtichas kesef. The kesef is not a keli to the nefesh. So there's a certain element of chiddush. He's creating a new tzir. When he's decorating the kesef, he's affecting something new. He's not just bringing out something from earlier and just he's actualizing it on a kesef. There's a certain davar chiddush. That's the nekudah of kayach. A nekudah that the nefesh is able to detach itself and to affect something outside of it. If you only limited that what the person is able to convey, that's gilui. And then a person doesn't have the yechidus of chiddush. The yechidus of chiddush is that he's able to affect a chaymer which is outside of him. There's a difference in this and kayach. It's kamashinim, but there's nekudah of chiddush that is able to affect his, the tzura that is nefesh is mitzayir on a davar gashmi. That's the nekudah of hefsek. He's able to be maitik his into something which is totally beyond him. Because the tzir that you're being mitzayir and the gashmi is shalei be'erech. So it's in Kodav Hefsek, they're able to affect a chatichas keser with the tzir. The tzir of the mashal chveis someone or being finding good words for his feelings or something. That's not a Kodav Kayach. That's being able to convey his nefesh in Isis. The Isis are keli to the nefesh. That's being able to be mgal himself through Isis or something like that. Here, it's not a hemshech to regular art of gilui. He has to affect the chatichas keser, which is not a keli to nefesh. So that is in a certain nekudah of being able to detach himself from the inyan and the way they are mitzad the nefesh and to affect a chaymer outside of it. That's the nekudah of hefsek. Ein ze shatzur nimtzaz b'achem. Lo yibchinas helam sheyesh dem imtziz, lo gam yibchinas helam she'enim imtziz. Or yeah, ma sheyesh mechem rak halul is levad. Levad that means since it doesn't have any distinct form, so it's all to accept any type of form. Sing Stamazid, the Alter Rebbe brings in Sheikh Vamuna that the toast that they made a mistake. Shemedam in Ma'is Imtach V'Leisav L'Ma'is Shemaim B'Aretz. So what was their dogma? Like the Yetzer makes a kli. I'm saying if they weren't tipshel, that was not bringing a dogma of Stam Sheita Ba'alma. They brought a dogma of a person being Mitzayir because there is an element of Chiddush there. It's not the Pshat Stam as they learn that he's not being God, he's just being Megale. That's what you learned from Tafish when you were in Shalf Zal or something, that you're not being Megale something new, you're just revealing what's already there. So what was the having in the Bechal? So the word is that they are, they're inventing a new tzir. The Rebbe's word is something else. The Chaymer is susceptible. Kenes Mekabel say. The Chaymer is able to be Mekabel, the tzura. So that's something else. The Meila is not a Chiddush because the Chaymer is a Keli the Kabbalah is all to be Mekabel this tzir. Mashiach by Ma'aseh Shemaim Ba'aretz ayin is not a Chaymer which could have the tzur of yesh. But not that you're not doing anything, you're just developing what's there. You're not developing what's there. You're creating a new tzir. No, okay. The teva even later v'lipa lamata v'kei chazika mechadish v'shiyel chomata lamala hepech tiva. The nekudah of keiach is there says the musical keiach is rather deeper by that's not the pratim punkt. But the nekudah of keiach is it's not the actualization of what already exists. It's not the outplay of what is already in the market. There's the market, but the keiach to affect something new, which the ultimate of keiach is nisbat in them. That even apitevas kenner zayin. A stone by nature can't fly. And you're able to affect a stone, hepech tivei. And it's never behemshech tivei. It's always something new. It's always a new pool. That's the nekudah of keiach. So the Rebbe says here, the Rebbe explains the beginning of the Maimer, it's a very important point. The Rebbe explains the beginning of the Maimer that Elakai is keila lashon eir and lashon keiach. It doesn't say that Elakai is keila lashon shem. The nekudah of the Maimer is that Elakai is keila lashon eir and lashon keiach. Why is it Lakai Kela? Well, because there's a mile in there's a mile in Kayach. So there first is Mazur, the mile of shame. What shame teaches us is that the etzem, what's rooted in the etzem, not the expression and its galus is not the market is not a market for anything else. It's the way the market is batzmusay. It's the way the market is. It's him being nisgale, but it doesn't capture the atzmius of the etzem. It doesn't capture the etzem mahus of the etzem. The fact that he's a moir and he contains the mile of blig vol but it doesn't contain his atzmius inyan. The atzmius inyan is expressed more in the oasis which they contain him and a bahaltanam eifin more than in that aspect that he's expressed begoli. Whereas expressed begoli doesn't express the atzmi is the core of the market. That's dafka in the shame. So Al says in Bila Gabi Kayach. Kayach is a to know that it's not only there's no gilui nefesh klal. If Kayach would be an extension of his gilui, Kayach in a way is lower than shame. Shame it's taka'esis, but they're his name. He's not a mucker for anything else. It's his name. Just in his name is not nicker anything when you get to the adam which you're being carried b'shmai. But Kayach is not about him altogether. Kayach is an ability to affect something new. An ability to have an imprint on a stone, and not an expression of nefesh. Because the minute it's an expression of nefesh, then it's not a stone, and then it's not a chiddush. Then it's the nefesh coming to in a very low way. That's not a chiddush already. Here the word is it's not about expressing the makar. It's a stone should fly. No kesher. The stone is gashmi, not a keli to nefesh, cannot express the nefesh. A simple daemon, and the person affecting a daemon, that's chiddush. It means detach the gamri from the makar. What is it? It's the makar's ability to affect something new, and that's a tnu of hefsek. That he's adrabi, he's leaving his own inyan, and he's going to affect the zulas, which has no erech. So the Rebbe brings here. This is the mile which Kayach has al eru gili. V'leisib chinas gili ein shayach behefsek. B'meila ein shayach beyischachos. Rebbe brings here that's not the why is this havos dafke b'Kayach b'chol eres mein amor, and if it's mein amor, it's also mein psalin yana fanatzma. So why can't this havos be there? This havas is you're giving space for a new entity. The pshat shemayim is not shemayim is not a chetimtze for the Eibishter's yichelis to create. It's not the Eibishter's blig vol being expressed by the fact that he's creating the shemayim. Shemayim is the Eibishter created a rakia. What's the content of shemayim? A heaven. There's a heaven. There's an earth. Not a chetimtze to bring out the Eibishter's blig vol. If it's a chetimtze the Eibishter to bring out the Eibishter's blig vol, that could be also mitzat er. The etzem is ein sof. And as a result, and what's that whatever the etzem entails should be actualized. As a result of that, the etzem the Eibishter is also his ain service mizbata and them that he could create. Then there's no chalais of a shamayim v'aretz. Then it's not a gather of a table and a chair and a heaven and earth. It's a chetimtza for the Eibishter's yechelis into being nizgal. The Eshavas means the Eibishter created space. He created a heaven. What is heaven? He created a heaven. Not his expression through a heaven. He created the heaven. What is a heaven? There's in the sky and there's the galaxy, whatever there is. He created the world. That's what he created. For that, it's not for that you need a gather of kayach. That the Indian is, and that's a new thing. If the word of Shemayim was behemshach telukos, is alder seichel amidis, behemshach to the Ein Sof of the Eibishter, a world comes into being. Behemshach to this great energy darton of Ein Sof. As a result of that, a world comes into being. Then it's not as chachos, and then it wouldn't be a world. Then it wouldn't be a heaven. It's the Eibishter being expressed through a world. It would never be detached of him. It would always be as an extension of him. The gather of Shemayim is there's a mitzvah of a world. There's tables and chairs and people. There's a whole universe happening around. Totally detached of him. Not detached in the sense that it doesn't. Not about Sheikh al-Munah that the Eibishter has to always. We're not talking about the fact that it's never independent, that it could stand independently. But the shaila is, what is this universe? That's the shaila. What is this mitzvah? It's a universe. That's what it is. It's not an expression of a lakus. That's not what it is. It's a world. In order for that to be, that's the musik of Kayach. Be'etzem, this entity didn't exist, and it shouldn't have existed. Because the Eibishter is the truth. So what should be? Whatever is an expression of him, that could be. If a world expresses Ein Sof, then Ein Sof is real, and whatever expresses Ein Sof is also real. The Eibishter didn't create a world that's behemshach to the fact that he's Ein Sof. He invented a new mitzvah. So it's a kayach lechadish, not a kayach to bring himself, to express himself through something. He invented something new. So for that, you need the musik of kayach. Because is not the makar the way is a makar of something. The makar the way is batzmiyuse, and the whole mitzvah of is galus makar. Mitzad gili kanish that there's no space for something which is not him. It's all his gili. says Mashiach in Keach. It says like this. Zo mal shesh no Keach ale. First Rebbe says the mile of it. Eru gilui, but liyesei b'chinas gilui in shaykh by hefsek, but meil in shaykh by b'chinas eschachos. Mashiach in Keach shu helam means in Keach in Yoni is not the izgalus hamaker. It's the fact that the maker is able to detach himself from his inyan begoli. It shouldn't be nergash his inyan, and to give space for something else. Shaykh by hefsek. Means it's the maker being bis almas. Ach mitzad ze gufi ish b'mayla. What's the mayla? Who should peil in the nice chachos? A tutuf anayizah. K'meish kosav atis is shemaim v'saris b'kechacha god. Lo shemzat b'chinas keach dafka. Nas is chachos shemaim v'oris. That's the dik b'kechacha god. Who is chachos ilm is b'yak? Making him come chos ilm is kedush. Ak nikrodem to be the chos. And savusim b'chinas keach. Zo ma shekosav at asis is shemaim v'saris b'kechacha god. The b'elam is b'yak haprotim b'chinas keach amalchos. That's k'meish ulachar apash b'nesulas t'b'yak. The keach zeh mahavas an Ephraim t'b'yak b'schachos yesh ma'ayin. This you have to remember. The Rebbe says over here the word that means kayach. Since kayach in Yonah of kayach is not the expression of the nefesh. You have certain in Yonah in the nefesh that their inyan is to express the nefesh. His in Yonah should be nizgal. You have kayach is the inyan of kayach is not that a person has. It's not his expression. It's a ability to affect something new. It's an ability to invent. So what's in Yonah of the Keach? To be mechadish. So it's machas the way it's la'achar parsa. In Yonah of Keach is not the hisgalus of the alien. It's the being a mukkah for the tachton. So machas always machas the way it is, not a chelik of the parts of Atzilus, not a chelik of the hisgalus of Atzilus. What's the content of machas as Keach? That it's a mukkah for a nivru. Just machas the way it is la'achar atzimtzum. Yeah. Maybe before we go weiter, we should. Okay, should we learn the model with gelernt? Wen ein stir lanal. What is gelernt bechal? Wir lernen genau family schöne. So gehen weiter war. Du willst gehen schlafen? You napped oder was hin und we'll go to the later, yeah? Wen ein stir lanal am vor. Now I was thinking maybe skimming a few lines, but we'll do it straight. Wen ein stir lanal am vor ba kamakem shemer in echod. This is an important point also. The Rebbe explains before there's a mylin, there's in Yonim, which their Indian is the expression of the mucker. And we're going back to Shem for a second. Then there's in Yonim, Shem and Kayach in this respect for now are the same, that it's in Yonim which stem from the mucker, but not the mucker the way he is in a state of expression. The mucker the way he is bis almas. And the mucker the name doesn't express the mucker. You can't tell the mucker from the name. But the name is rooted in the etz and the way he is beyond Gili, the way he is Batzmusay. We'll see later about Taich in them. And Alderes Zekayach is also not the mucker the way it stems from the mucker, but it's not the mucker the way he's in a mode of expressing himself. It's the mucker the way he's in a mode of hiding himself and not letting his Indian be on the conscious of his Indian and to be a mucker for something else. So they're both the mucker the way he's in a state of his almas, Sashem and Zakayach, and the result of the Hemshah is going to be that this tnu of his almas expresses more the atzmius of the mucker of Elokus deeper than the tnu of Gili. That's going to be the. So the Rebbe says here that so b'chol Shem ve'er is one Indian. So shteit in Chassidus, this is also going to be when you get to Keach. We'll see. So b'chol shteit in Chassidus that Shem ve'er is one Indian. Medrash is it says Halach HaKadosh Baruch Hu Adam Stikr says Shem or Hayehu Shmei Belvad. The Medrash calls the Eibush's b'Shem Shem, and Kabbalah the lashon is So shteit in Chassidus because Shem and is b'chol is one Indian. It's two opposite inyanim. This is the mucker the way is in a mode of it's two hafachim. Here's the mucker in a state of his almos, and here's the mucker in a state of expressing himself. It's opposite inyanim. So that means this is a very important thing here. It says b'chol inyanim megam eru kumeshem. Rebbe touches here that mitzad ha'atzmos from atzmos' point of view. So mitzad ha'etzem, so nothing expresses him really. Even the highest the musig oblique vol. Mitzad the nature of let's say amitis apshitis, no, there's nothing that could express him. In the Ephraim, so the Shemesh has a distinct Indian what he is, and light is as they say, a full expression of him. Or let's say chayis klalis is an open expression of the nefesh, transparent to the nefesh. You have a chayis glass is by definition as a transparent thing. The highest musik of Gilui has to have some type of form. Whatever it is, whatever definition it is, Gilui Lekos, nothing could express Etzem. There's nothing that's a keli to Etzem. So mitzad that Inyan, everything is shame. There's nothing that has a yachas, mitzad the nature of the mitzias of which has a yachas to Etzem, which is able to express it. That's on one hand. That doesn't mean that is not Amitis Gilui. I'm just saying mitzad the nature, mitzad the heder agdar of Atzmus, on one hand, there's nothing that could express it. The reality is that because the Eibishter is Ein Sof, and b'meila there's also a mile of Moir. He's not limited that nothing that he can't have Eir. It's not chazal. B'meila, and the Eir taka stems from the fact that he's a Moir. But the fact that there's a reality of Eir doesn't stem because Eir, let's say, is bittul, and bittul expresses it. Not because nothing expresses it. There's no content that expresses him. It's at the nature of the content. It's because the Eibishter is Ein Sof, therefore he's a Moir also. And as a result of that, there's Eir. It's not chazal. You understand what I'm saying? What the Rebbe is saying is, inside the nature of the mitzias of Gilui, of Eir, nothing expresses atzmos. So inside that Indian, everything's a helen v'hester. The same way Oisius, in the mashal, the Oisius don't express the nefesh, because it's just the letters. There's no, what do you see in it, in the seichel or midas of the person? Al derech zeh, atzmos is leis mashavet fisabe. No musig, beyond any musig. And it's beyond saying beyond them. You say there's no tzir shlilas kol aterim. So there's no Inyan that could express it. So mitzad that aspect, every Inyan involved, every Inyan in shtashos, every Inyan in gilui is shame. It's a hell of a hester and a That's on the other hand, mitzad the Ein Sof of atzmos, everything he expressed himself through anything. It's not shaykh to say that pshit is an expression of him. Mashik in a table is the, say, detached of him and can't express it. Any Inyan from mitzad shlilas kol aterim, he can be expressed through anything. Say the nefesh, when we speak about gilui, only something which is attached could express him. Something which is a stone can't express him. But the Eibishter, there's no such thing a stone can't express him. He can be expressed through anything because Eshlas Kol HaTorah. But that's from the point of view of Atzmos. But the shaila is that's true. These things are true. But lepoyel, there's an Inyan of Moir in Atzmos. There's an Inyan mitzad the Ein Sof of Atzmos. There is this element that he is a Moir, and there is this element of Etzem which is beyond Moir. And Eir stems from the fact that he's a Moir, and shame stems from the fact that he's beyond Moir. It's nicht considered. Let me see what the Rebbe sagt. Sie bechossen in gam Eir commission. The fish gam khines Eir sayeser nailem im inner legabe atzmos. Sim khines helen legabe commission. Und lieder gisay mit zat zesha leser sar ponemine. Ve ein edmol vade. In gam helen khines shem hu kema Eir. Til yesh ein edmol vade leser sar ponemine. In gam khines helen ve hester yeser god hu kema Eir. Gabe atzmos akelo gil. Means shlilas kol atayr. So the truth is that it's not the pshat that the Eibishter is limited to Eir, or he's limited to Shem. It's not chazach. This the Rebbe, if you the Rebbe brings there that this nekuda the etzem mitzad the fact that the Eibishter is a Moir and the Eibishter has the mile of Helen, and the fact that there's Eir is not because Eir is a miyuchis. Mitzad the mile of Eir, it's able to megal atzmos. Or Helim has a mile. Mitzad the mile of Helim, it's able to. In the mashal, you say there's a mile of gilui, which there the makar expresses himself fully without any tzimtzumim, and there's a mile of Helim that through that is expressed the atzmius of the makar. So these inyanim contain within themselves milas. Gilui has a mile that because the Eir doesn't have an independent seer, it expresses the makar fully, and Helim has a mile that expresses a certain atzmius of the makar. Lemaila, there's no inyanim in ishtalshalos, but they contain within themselves the quality of expressing Holocaust or the quality of being Mailam on Holocaust. It's not the pshat that mitzad the nature of the inyanim, anything could be Gilei, anything could be Helam. What's the pshat that there's Eir? Because the Eibush is a Moir. Inyani of Eir is to express the fact that the Eibush is a Moir. The Mela that Inyani is Eir. But not Inyani of Eir, the fact that that's Nirgash in the Eir, that it's not the pshat that he's expressing Gili, because he has this Maila. He's Edel, and the Fari expresses Gili. It's because that's Mitzad Etzem. The Eibush contains within himself the Maila of Moir, and as a result of that, the Eir results of that Nekudah. So Mitzad that in it, there's a Nekudah in Eir, which is Nirgash, the Be'etzem, Mitzad my nature, I'm shame. Mitzad the Tchunas of Mitzi, Mitzad Mitzias. So everything is, nothing's Al-Vester. With what am I Gili? Because that's the Kavanah, because that's my Inyan to be Megala the Nekudah of Gili. If I state the Minyan.
In each one.
In order to express the fact that Eir is Megala the Moir, it's not because the Eir has in it great qualities that because of that it's transparent to the Moir is able to be Nergesh. It's because the Atzmas Be'etzem is beyond everything. But the Eibush Mitzad this Ein Sof contains the quality of Moir. And all the that this Inyan should be Nizgala, and the Eir is a result of the fact that he's a Moir. The fact that Eir is Megala is not because Mitzad Mitzias Hadvarim Eir is Eidel Azad. Because Oliver Tzayne to be Megala the fact that he's a Moir. And as a result of that, there's a Mitzias of Eir. So the Eir from its own point of view, it's always nirgash that mitzad the rules of Seder Shtalshalos. Everything mitzad atzmi is helen b'ester. And mitzad atzmi, mitzad eivish, anything can be begili. So what's taka the Indian of Eir? If anything can be behel, if anything can be begili, what's taka that Eir, there's gila and there's helen Seder Shtalshalos? Because Oliver Tzayni that there should be a ini which should express the fact that he's a mur, and there should be a ini which should express the fact that he's a shame. We want to bring out that Eir is Inin Amiti, but not because of its own yichus. Because that's the Ratzon HaAtzmos that Eir should stem from the fact that he's a Mor. Okay, this prat maybe is a little bit more clear somewhere else. But let's go. This is what's important. Everything mitzad the Eibusher's ain't stuff can out sein, but the question is there's certain yana the Eibusher was matzel Eir, which in yoni of Eir is to express the fact that he's a Mor. That's in yoni of Eir, not because of its own right. You say the Melech chooses someone that he should be in charge of a chveis. You have someone that his nature is that he's a good chveis accountant, so therefore the Melech chose him to be his accountant, or because the Melech chose him, that should be his job. Therefore, he becomes good at that job. Because the Melech chose him to be the accountant, therefore he's so good and so successful being an accountant. So it's negative. The fact that he's not because he's good, therefore the Melech chose him. Because he was chosen to do that, therefore he's good at it. How is it going to be? So that in order to express that, we're saying that mitzad the nature of Chveis doing the job, the Melech is not limited. Anybody can do the job. But why? But he chose him to do the job, and therefore he's going to express the job in the most ultimate form. Eir Inyani is Gili and Nivra Inyani is Yesh. But the fact that Nivra Inyani Yesh is because the Eibishter chose that there should be something which should express the fact that he's Behelim. And that's the Metzias HaNivra. It's not that Yesh by definition cannot be Gili. Anything can fulfill any role. But the fact that Eir is Gili and Yesh is because that's the Kavanas HaAtzmos, that should reveal the fact that he's a Mar, and that should reveal the fact that he's the mile of heaven. You versteht the meaning? Okay, this is in a way not. Let's finish the image get there. This is a bit lazatik. In Yeshim Yonah Shabim Salmai Leim Salmat Imchinas. Yeshim Yeshim Imchinas Shevekach. For the Yesh Yesh Ma'ala Be'er Hashem Vekach Yesh Ma'ala B'Shem Vekach Al Er Ukenal. Ma'ala Sa'er Hi Shuhu Gili. Ma'ala Sa'kach Hi Shu Pel B'Derech Eschashos L'Chein Nemer Mimcha L'Kayim Melech. That was going to touch. In this Maimer is not to get the vertical L'Kayim Meloshin. We'll see. L'Kayim Meloshin Keich Meloshin Elokus Ve'er. Yeah, the fact that in the Darga of Malchus there's the Ma'il of Ur, that's not discussed in this Maimer. That Rebbe speaks about in the last Maimer, really. Here is more negea the fact that in Malchus there's Ufgeton, that there's an Indian of Kayach, there's an Indian of his chachus, Indian of Helen. Being Mahav is something new. That's what's negea here. In the last Maimer, the Rebbe explains how Malchus is killed both in them. And that's the pshat of Mimcha Lekayim Melech. B'chinas Lekayim is a relationship by Erve Kayach. That's B'chinas HaMelech. Who's a Lekayim? Lekayim is a Melech. Because this in it there should be cited in of Ur. It's in Dargas the way the hard L'mayla Mi Malchus. The Mile of Ur you have, but there's no. The in of Kayach is Eshes Chadash Malchus. That's what's negay for this Maimer. Shem said the Malchus dafke nimshach Ur Kazeh B'chinas Lekayim. Loshen L'kus and Loshen Kayach Lahaves Yishmayim. Do I have Rishmin Sivir Malchus L'chol Asfiris? Shem said the Malchus Nasa Davar Nifrit. Yeah, we spoke about this a little bit last time. Chol HaKerch Zleme V'Kech Azer Shalatz Mishach Alei Shalatz Milahas Klas Kolis. L'gam Amidus Shem Mitzis Amidus V'Adei Zulas Dafke. Gedu Adam Evram V'Rizar Ashalei Hayil Erich Moshe Midas Avet Shechel Zulas. V'Konker Any Muchar Shazul Siya Nifrit. V'Shalis Hashpah Gam Levana V'Sor. V'Shegem Midas HaMalchus Yik Mevur V'Shechel V'Munah Ein Melech B'Lei Am Lashon Eimus. Dvarim Nifradim Dafke. Yeah, I mentioned last time. The Kudah Malchus is also not. Those I'm verstehen, but it's not the pshat that the Am is a mitzvah which by nature. That there's difference between Memshala and Malchus. Memshala is that Emas HaGavaya Alanom. So the nature of if someone's going to be in front of someone that's more powerful than him, he's going to be afraid, or he's going to be weakened by in the presence of someone that's more powerful than him. Why? Because that's a natural thing. That's not the tzadashpa of the giber. It's not that the giber has an ability to affect the katan. It's not the giber's effect. The nature is that in presence of something stronger than you, something that's able to get rid of you, you're going to be afraid. Someone's in the present in the customs, and they could not let him in, yell at him, he's going to be afraid. Why is he afraid? Not that the police guy, which has no chushim at all, has an ability to affect you. He has no ability to affect you at all. He has no chushim klal. The vart is that right now he has more power over you, and you're under his, b'meli, you're afraid. That's a natural result. Malchus is, not that there's a melech, it's a manusa. It's not a gather of fear. It's a gather of a higher person. Royalty. Royalty is not being afraid because he's going to eat me. Royalty is that a person is in the presence of something manusa, and that causes him a inch to be mishtabit, to give himself over, to be machniya himself. That really is ashpah mitzad melech. Because the am is nifradim, they're far from him. The fact that they feel his greatness and it's me'er about them to be mishabed themselves, that's a result of the melech's koyach. The melech has an ability that his inyan is nirgash in places that are far. He has the ability to affect the zulas, to affect the zulas. Also be like saying this, but there's someone doesn't talk about the Maimon Friedrich Rebbe. So the figure brings he's trying to bring out this musik that Malchus is Zafka and Zulas. She brings that it says that Malchus is dibur, Malchus pe, Malchus is dibur. It says what's the chush of a good speaker? So you're able to affect the crowd. So the figure is matayr of his barichas, but the point is his chush is not that he's able to express the inyan in a very clear way. It's not a chush adibur. That's a chayz. That's chush adibur is. Imitzer Darton is speaking the whole speech. People that are mamish say they're how do you say they're totally aranginum, or they're totally affected by. And if you ask them after what the guy said and what was so grand about this message that he was saying there, they can't put. There's not. He has a koyach to affect the crowd. It's a special koyach that when he speaks it affects the olam. Not because he's masber the Indian in such a strong way that the Indian is not shviyan. He has a koyach to affect the people. You have these good speakers when they say good evening. It's interesting to hear. Nothing to do with what did he just say. He just said he's just introducing the head table there. People pile. There's a chush adibur, and that the figure is more speaking more about someone that's able to say be malif ha'elam to get a crowd on fire about something. Not because you explained the Indian so well that therefore they're on fire. They can't. Nothing changed in their asaga before and after. It's not like they had one understanding before, and during the speech, they realized their mistake in this and their mistake in that, and they reconstructed their system to the extent that they're also not only they changed their mind, they're fired up about it within half an hour. They're also fired and they're cheering for it. A person has a chush to be make a reishim anayil. That's a malchus. It's not that he's mekarev the inyan leilamim of the mekabel. He has a kech that his inyan should be to affect someone else. He's able to yeah, that's what I was saying over here also. Ava is all behemshach to the nefesh. A person has a regesh ava. It's a certain his own personal midah. He's able to. So the zulas is a zulas which is close to him. You can have ava even on a bun, not even, but regesh ava you don't need dafka someone else. You don't need dafka zulas which is just far from you, and it can never be to someone that's totally detached. If you're feeling a feeling towards them, so there's a contact. The whole idea of malchus is not that there's someone that their hairs. The godless, he's a keli to the godless hamelech, and therefore he's mekabel. Then it's not mitzad. Then it's nothing to do with the. That's not mitzad samlucha. That's by nature. A chacham cotton is marriage a chacham godly. Is battle. It's not a titzah of the chacham godless pool. The word of malchus says that he's a melech. What's a melech? He's able to be misnas alam. He's able that a zulas which is detached of him should be affected by his greatness. And we can't pinpoint why Taka this person was affected by him. The melech has a midah that is able to, that is nasis, is nirgash, even in a place where it's not a keli for him. So that's the code of malchus. And that's the code of, so the zara, Lahavis b'derech is chachos. Havis b'yan efradim. So dafkim it said malchus. Nekuda malchus is not a lukus expressing himself, but a lukus being a mocker for a zulas, being able to affect an other, which is dvarim nefradim, which is shalei be'erech to the mother. An other which has aderech is able to get a person affecting a stone. You can't say that a stone now is an expression of inyan. A stone is not a keli to inyan nafshi. You can't. A person is writing being mitzayir at tzir, so there's a certain nefesh being expressed through the tzir. You can't say that in a stone flying there's an inyan nafshi being expressed in it. There's nothing nafshi is think about a technical, physical stone flying in the air. There's nothing nafshi is think about it. So how does it come from a person which is nefesh, a pu'ula which is not nefesh? When it comes from a nefesh of something which doesn't express them at all. So there's, because the Nakud of Keich HaZrika is not about self-expression. It's about affecting something else. Al-Dara says Malchus. The Am have no relationship to the Melech. And his godless, it's not right as God, but his balabatishkeit is nirgash somewhere, which be'etzim has no shaykhs to the Makkim is not a keli for him. It's the same Nakud of Hefsik. יש סבס בקייך בדרך סאג' והסגל בדרך גילה, זה צריך לשלמים, חשייה בזה גילי בנשרים מסע עצמי. אז זהו, אני יכול לשנם שחום. So okay, we'll see this part. We'll finish the Maimer next, we'll finish Tuesday, and we'll start the first chelik of Vayelech. If you could try to get the first chelik of Vayelech, we don't have to...